Back to another episode number 136 of the so-called sports analyst. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. College football playoff rankings came out right now. Texas Tech is number 8, so hopefully we get a big win versus
Mhm.
BYU to keep it moving. Pretty much that solidifies it.
Yeah.
And then as far as watching the Lakers and Spurs right now, just hoping they
Stressful.
close it out. Just hoping they close it out. So that's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, no, we'll see. This is looking very interesting right now. But all right, before we start, find us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under TSCSA or the so-called sports analyst. Whether you listen to this live or another day, we appreciate it. And make sure you share this to anybody that likes sports. All right, let's go ahead and get cooking. NFL Week 10 predictions. And now we're at a standstill here, Josh. It's 5-4, a 3-game win streak for me. I know previous week this one counted 2 games. So I'm creeping up closer. So all I'm just saying is I told you the comeback was going to happen. It's not done yet. I need to officially get up, but it's going to happen these next 2 games. But let's start with this
No,
first one.
sir.
It's going to happen. Trust me. Trust me. But first game right here, Thursday Night Football. 2-6 Raiders versus 7-2 Broncos. Denver's favored by 9.5. Over unders 42.5. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm going with Denver in this one. I think even what we saw from Denver last week versus without Patrick Surtain versus the Texans. I know Davis Mills ended up coming into the game, but it did show that they're still able to play some great defense without
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain. And yeah, so I think versus the Raiders, they're gonna have a pretty good day. I don't know about offensively; they seem to have been struggling more often than they are not. So
Yeah.
I have to see on that. But as far as the game as a whole, I think the Denver Broncos will win.
Yeah, Denver Broncos, they're going to win very easily. And I think this is a game where you start everybody on Denver, even RJ Harvey. He's a good flex consideration in my opinion just cuz how bad the Raiders are, but okay. Just quick question from the Raiders side here. Since Jacoby Myers he's gone, is Brock Bowers tied in 1 rest of the year?
Brock Bowers was tight end one the second he stepped on the field last week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he put all those questions to rest.
I mean, him missing all those games and comes back with 44. I think he's already top 10 and tight end fantasy points overall. Just shows how dominant he is.
Wimby has 5 fouls, I think, right now.
How much are you ahead? Because I just got to 11-minute mark. Jake LaRavia just
No,
hit
I'm
like a
on
midi.
10:31.
Oh, dang. You're like 20. You're good, though. You're good, though. Dang, I'm like 20. Well, also, I'm not going to say the website I'm watching it on, but I'm watching on a
Oh
website where
no, I just paid $45 for freaking ESPN bundle
YouTube TV, get your stuff fixed, please,
for real, bruh.
please, please. But all
Can't
right,
even
let's.
cancel YouTube TV right now either because Sunday
I know
tickets
that
connected to it.
that payment's crazy. Okay, I just see. I barely saw the Wimby foul right now. That's crazy. So yeah, but no, you're good. You're good. If you react, I know you're a Spurs fan. But all right, next game right here. This is a game in Berlin. It's and yeah, it's in the Olympic Stadium. So Falcons versus Colts. Colts are 7-2. Falcons 3-5. Colts favored by 6.5. Over under is 48.5. And also notably, the Colts traded for Sauce Gardner 2 first-round picks. So I think we know who we're going with this game. But you kind of talk about the trade if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Indianapolis Colts in this one. I even know the Falcons can definitely make some big moves in this one. They tend to play some good teams really well throughout the season. But I think the move for Sauce Gardner just stirs up something that the Colts really needed desperately. I do think their offense. I mean, obviously we know what they are. One of the probably the best in the NFL
Yeah.
throughout the entirety of the season. The defense stopping the run has been great, but when it came to stopping the pass, I don't. I know a lot of it has to do with being down, being up by a lot, and a lot of garbage time stuff. But still, like they were more prone to give up the pass than anything
Mhm.
else. And adding Sauce Gardner,
Yeah.
especially to be able to shadow or just take away one side of the field, definitely adds a lot to this Indianapolis Colts team that was already great.
Yeah, no, for sure. So first off, I'm gonna say Colts they win this one. I think Falcons they keep it just closer just because they have the manpower next to it. But as far as just overall with this Colts trade, I'm not gonna say necessarily they're Super Bowl contenders, but they have to make the top four, meaning the AFC Championship game in this one, because I think for sure now you could say without a question they have the best secondary in the NFL with Travarius Ward coming back, Kenny Moore, Cam Bynum. So they have plenty of dogs right there. And like you were saying, not only does this not only does this ensure the pass game, you have Lou Anarumo. I don't know if I said his name right, where he could have a field day with the front seven. Cause it's like, all right, I could blitz, but I have two top 10 corners on my team right here and a good safety duo. So good luck passing. Good luck passing on me. And you need that against the Mahomes. I know Josh Allen, he doesn't have the receivers, but he kind of makes his receivers a lot better. The Justin Herberts.
Steph,
So
what are you doing?
I know, I know. So, but yeah. As far as that, I say I know some people they may not. I'll put it like this: Daniel Jones, he's not a rookie, but he's like on a rookie scale contract. And you know what they always say about when you're on rookie scale contracts? You got to take advantage of it. You got to be ultra aggressive. And I just credit the Colts for doing that right there. But all right, anything else from this game?
Uh oh, good oop. All right, but
You're good.
honestly, from this game, I just really want to see how this defense plays. I think it's a good matchup versus like a
Yeah.
Drake London type player who had a really big game
Mhm.
versus a really good defense last week. You have Bijan Robinson. You have weapons for the what are we doing? Just fouling the hell out of Jackson Hayes. That's what we're doing. But yeah, but they have weapons that could really put a test to this new addition to the Indianapolis Colts defense to see
Mhm.
if they're contenders or pretenders. And I think the Falcons can really pull that
Yeah,
question out.
and I won't say necessarily that I'm gonna give Sauce a week or so because he's gonna have that tough assignment and also just adjusting to the scheme and everything. So if he kind of gets cooked this week, I'm not gonna be overreacting. That's all I'm gonna say because like have to fly on a plane, learn the new system, and play within. And not only that, you're going to Berlin, so it's extra caveats that you have to add to it. So that's why I'm thinking it's gonna be a little bit closer. But okay, as far as the start of the 12 o'clock games right here, we have
Dude,
the New
Sohan's
York
playing good.
Giants versus the Chicago Bears. 5-3 Bears versus 2-7 Giants. Chicago's favored by 4.5. Over unders 46.5 in this one. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago in this one. We saw them last week what they were able to do when they put up points. I even though they didn't come out with the W, I mean, even though they struggled to come out with the W, I don't think they're gonna have the same type of struggles versus the New York Giants, who are missing a bunch of players, a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart. So I think right now Chicago's gonna walk away with this win. And I think there's going to be a pretty big days on both sides offensively. But also, one thing I am worried about for the Chicago Bears, though their offensive line has been playing really well, they're gonna have a tough task this week with that New York Giants defensive line.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. And I think this is just as far as just overall spectrum of the game. I'm picking the Bears to win this one. So Caleb Williams, he's kind of having a softer part of the schedule where it's like, all right, you play a bad defense. Then now this next test is going to be, all right, you're going to play a good defensive line, but a bad secondary. So that's what I'm kind of looking for more within this game. It's like, all right, can you still make those throws with pressure in your face? Because guys are going to be wide open. They're going to be wide open in this one. It's just a matter of I just want to see he's slowly showing those next stages of development, but he just needs to put them into consistent games. That's more of what I'm worried about in this one. And Jackson Dart, he should have a field day with this Bears defense. Even though there's lack of weapons, he should have his day with this. And I'm expecting points in this one, in all honesty. So, um, I'll say just a random final score. I say both of these teams are in the 30. I say like a 35-31 ball game right here.
Oh
I
wow, that's a
expect
pretty high
points.
score.
I expect points in this one. I do not believe in the Bears defense, and I just think the Bears
Which
offense
is
are going to
really
be taking it.
surprising because we felt last year that was one of their strong suits compared to their offense was their actual defense. And then now this year, it's kind of like I think it's just injuries, if we're being
Yeah,
completely honest. Like injuries have caught it to this team, but still, like it's kind of flipped the script. I mean, which was expected, but not this much.
yeah, not to have like a top or bottom five worst defense in the league, but again, injuries that they've had, so they'll slowly start to get a little bit better. But we'll see from this one. As far as just quickly, Roma Dunze, zero
Yeah, I'm
zero
starting. Yeah.
catches, zero receiving yards, bounce back game. Do you think they're going to overfeed him this week?
No, but I do think he's gonna be part of the script like as he always is, and he's just gonna get his touches when he gets his touches. So,
Mhm,
but I do think he's gonna bounce back pretty well in this game.
mhm. Yeah, no, I agree. But all right, next game we have right here: Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins, in which Buffalo is favored by 8.5 in Miami. Over under is 50.5, so they're expecting points. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. Buffalo coming off a big win versus my team, Kansas City. I think they're gonna continue to want to separate and catch up to the New England Patriots within that division, and it's a must win every single week for them. So, yeah, I think Miami, it's gonna be really rough, especially after what happened last week on Thursday night. Just absolutely
Yeah.
embarrassing performance and embarrassing actions by their head coach. I just don't think there's enough team chemistry there right now, and Buffalo's gonna feast on that.
Yeah, I think I think the Dolphins are completely falling apart. And even I think the Bills will kind of come out a little bit flat after such a high game because I feel like usually after the Chiefs in the regular season they usually like go down, but I think they have more than enough talent to beat the Miami Dolphins in this one. So give me the Bills very easily in this one. But all right, this one where it might be a little bit interesting. This is in Minnesota right here. 3-5 Ravens versus the 4-4 Vikings. Baltimore's favored by 4.5. Over unders 49.5. So how's JJ McCarthy doing this in his second start back?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Minnesota in this one. I think this. I think people are expecting above Baltimore to go on this big old run, and it's warranted because they do have the history of being one of the better teams in the NFL, one of the best teams in the NFL, his, over the last couple of seasons. Well, historically, to be honest, but um, Minnesota, what they were able to do to Detroit last week. I know Detroit has struggled at times this year, but they were still able to show dominance in this one. And JJ McCarthy did play very well, and I just do think the defense in Baltimore still has a lot of question marks as far as the offense in Minnesota. They got some guys on the outside that can make some really big plays. They got their two-headed monster in the backfield. Not like a monster, but they both get their jobs done. And the
Yeah.
defense is still good enough to hold down a Lamar Jackson led Baltimore offense. So I think I'm gonna lean with Minnesota on this one.
So you talked about there's some people thinking the Ravens are going on a run. I'm one of those guys. Give me the Baltimore Ravens in this one. And I think the defense they showed their superpower last. I let it be all against Miami Dolphins. They showed a pulse. They showed life.
Foul.
Yeah,
My bad.
they showed a pulse. They showed life. But I think this offense, this is where they're going to pop off right here. I know they had 28 points, but it was really just short fields and everything. But the Minnesota Vikings defense is not completely healthy yet. And I think Lamar Jackson, second game back, 10-day rest, and he doesn't lose to NFC team. So I'm going to have to take the Ravens right here in this one. And I'm not expecting as many points in this one. I know the line's almost 50, but I think that they get the 27, 28 point mark, and I think that's enough to just hold off the Vikings. And I think JJ McCarthy kind of he had a great game last week, but I think it's kind of like a tier less. I'm not saying a bad game, but just a tier below that, in my opinion. So, all right. Next one we have right here is the Cleveland Browns, who are coming off a bye 2-6, versus the fire sell Jets, who are 1-7. Trade away Sauce Gardner, trade away Quinn Williams, which we'll get to in a second. Cleveland's favored by 2.5 in New York. Over unders 38.5, by far the lowest of the week. Who you taking?
Yeah, this Cleveland defense is gonna absolutely destroy the New York Jets. Give me the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, no. Give me the Cleveland Browns in this one. And not much to take away from the Jets other than Quinshon Judkins. He's going to have an amazing day in this one coming off of a bye week where he got completely healthy. No Quinn Williams to worry about no more. And as far as with the Jets, very quickly, okay, I'm going to say this. This is more directed towards Damien. We talked about this in the group chat. He talked about, the Jets have all this picks, all this salary cap. You know what you actually have to do? You actually have to draft the players right and develop them. So all they're missing now,
What did
outside of
Peter
a franchise.
Strager say today on NFL on ESPN or something like that? They were talking to him, and he was like, they drafted um, Sauce Gardner, Jermaine Johnson, Brees Hall, and Garrett Wilson all in the same draft, and they still suck. Like,
Yeah, and it's like, you know what? Eventually, you know what those draft picks you want them to pan out to? A Jermaine Johnson, a Quinnen Williams, a Sauce Gardner. So it's like you were already bad. Might as well go in for Francisco Mendoza or somebody along those lines. And you still have to hit the draft picks. That's the thing about it. In theory, it sounds great, but they're not a team that's known to draft quarterbacks well,
Hey,
which is
speaking of
the most
drafting Jets
important.
quarterbacks, do you think we see Zach Wilson this year for Miami?
Ooh, I think we see Quinn Ewers over Zach Wilson.
Mhm.
Because, like, okay, if season was in balance, I'd say Zach Wilson. But since the season's not in balance, I say they'd rather lean towards a younger guy, if that makes sense. Like, just to see if he has any juice or
Yeah.
anything. That's my thinking right there. Were you I don't I don't know, but I kind of want to get to this next game here because this is going to be really interesting right here. The 7-2 New England Patriots versus a 6-2 Bake Show right here, which the Buccaneers are coming off a bye. This is in Tampa, by the way. Tampa's favored by 2.5. Over unders 48.5 in this ball game. So who are you taking?
Yeah, as good as New England's playing right now, they're about to run into the Bake Show, and I'm gonna continue sticking with the Bake Show because if it's gonna come down to a shootout, I'm taking Baker every single time.
Yeah.
Not every single time, but most of the time.
If it's not the Cowboys or the Chiefs, you better believe every single time both of us are going to be taking the bake show in this one. And I think just more importantly from this, the Buccaneers, they got the bye at the right time. They were kind of sliding down, but also they're getting Bucky Irving back, which is a big addition. It's going to open up a lot
Dunk that,
more
Wimby! Like, what's
for
he
Emeka
doing, bro?
Ibuka. I have no clue. For Emeka Ibuka, that's going to open up a lot.
Rui
So
is not like that, bro. Rui Hachimura is not like that.
Yeah, for you guys wondering, it's the Spurs and Lakers game. It's really close right now. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. I just saw the replay. I just saw the replay. No, but yeah, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this ball game in a very close game. Very, very close game. I know the Patriots defense is very good, but I think just they're battle tested. The Patriots are at the point where they're just getting these easy wins. You still have to win the ball games, but the Bucks, they have the proven wins, the battle tested wins. They're a playoff veteran team. But hey, maybe the Patriots prove me wrong, but I don't see that going this Sunday. So yeah, give me the Buccaneers in this one. And okay, quick side story. Bucky Irving coming back after missing 4 games. How well does he do in fantasy coming back?
Um,
You
he's a
think
must
it's
start.
normal workload? Like, you think
Yeah,
it's like the normal workload or like
I
they
think
don't
they held him
even
out long enough. I think they held him out long enough for a reason. So I think
Mhm.
he just comes back into the full fold.
Okay, okay, fair enough. But all right, let's get into the most interesting game of the day. If you're a Saints fan, 1-8 Saints versus the 5-4 Carolina Panthers. Carolina's favored by 5.5. Over under 39.5 in this ball game. How much are the Saints losing by in this one?
Yeah, give me the Carolina Panthers by at least 14. So yeah, I just think they're gonna have a pretty. Not saying that their quarterback's gonna win them the game, but I'm just saying that their team as a whole is gonna win this game. So give me the Carolina Panthers.
All I'm just saying is from this one, if Bryce Young has a good day, the Saints may end up winning this game. For some reason, for the Panthers, Bryce Young has a bad game, Panthers win. So hey, maybe we'll see something. Maybe Bryce Young has his first good game and a win besides the Cowboys. But yeah, give me the Panthers in this one very, very easily. Rico Dowdle, he's a must start at this point. He's a top 5 running back at this point. But all right, last 12 o'clock game of the day. Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 5-3 versus a 3-5 Texans. Jacksonville is favored by 1.5. Over under 37.5. And CJ Stroud, he's most likely not going to play because of that concussion, from what I've seen, but I could double check.
Yeah, without CJ Stroud, I'm gonna go to the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one. As much as I've been kind of hating on them pretty much this entirety of the season. I just think Houston without CJ Stroud, they're just not the same type of offense. Even though they do struggle with him in the game, just because due to protection purposes, I just don't see it happening for Davis Mills. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars because they are healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jaguars, they're winning this one. I just double checked. CJ Stroud is for sure ruled out in this one. But also, just a quick side story from this. Jacoby Myers being added to the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one. So as of right now, it says BTJ is going to play. So how much do you think this means fantasy purposes for both guys here?
I don't think it affects either too much. I mean, it may give a boost. I mean, it don't matter if freaking Brian Thomas Jr. is not even doing anything. But
Not gonna throw
for
him the
Jacoby
ball.
Myers, at least I think he's able to go play this slot role like that
Yeah.
he originally does play, and for Jacksonville, I think that's gonna be very big because he is one of the best. I think when he has good quarterback play. I mean, I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is this great quarterback, but he's more competent right now than Geno Smith. So yeah, I think it's a pretty big upgrade for the team.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. So I just want to see, it's a good fit next to Brian Thomas, but can they actually use Brian Thomas? That's the thing about it. I think maybe the first week or two,
Wimby,
Jacoby
I'm gonna
Myers going
crash
to
out, bro. Put it in
eat.
the hoop.
The first week or two, it's going to lean towards more Jacoby Myers. But after that, I think it should lean towards Brian Thomas again. I'm not exactly sure because it's Brian Thomas, and they do have a tough matchup. The Texans defense is the Texans defense. So yeah, no, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars in this one in a very ugly game right here. But all right, started at 3 o'clock games right here. I don't know why Wimby didn't duck that. But all right, Arizona Cardinals versus a 6-2 Seattle Seahawks, in which they traded for Rashid Shaheed. Seattle's favored by 6.5, over unders 45.5. So who are you taking, and any thoughts on the trade?
Sorry. Um, we're on Arizona and Seattle.
Yeah.
No, as far as Rashid Shaheed, I think it just adds them another weapon. I'm not too sure about the fit where he's going to be at because Cooper Cup does play a lot of the majority out of the slot. JSN does as well. They're constantly on the field when they're both healthy. Toria Horton struggling for some play time, but I don't know. I think it's a really great move for depth purposes. That gives them another skill player, another big time weapon to really make a push towards a Super Bowl run. And I do think it does major things for them. As far as on the other side, Jacoby Brissett's been balling, really has the Arizona Cardinals clicking on all cylinders on offense as of late, and their defense is okay, has been pretty good. But they are about to run into the Seattle Seahawks. They did very well against them last time they played, but I do think two timers around, Seattle's going to have a lot more adjustments, especially with the new added weapon. Give me Seattle in this one.
Yeah, no, give me Seattle. They're an absolute buzzsaw right now. I think the Cardinals are going to put up a good fight because just Jacoby Brissett, he's just an ultimate quarterback, and he's going to keep teams in games, and he's just going to be solid enough for an offense. But as far as from with this Rashid Shaheed move right here, I think this adds another element because I know you're saying as far as with the slot work in Cooper Cup, Rashid Shaheed can actually play the outside, and he's that deep vertical threat. I know JSN he is, but I think he's not that he's bad going deep, but I feel like his bread and butter is an intermediate. So you have Cooper Cup in the slot, you have the intermediate with JSN, and you have the deep threat. What that means is that you cannot double JSN no more, or else Rashid Shaheed is going to be beating you over the top. So I think this does a lot for JSN right here and makes it where this offense is so much better and opens up the run game, in my opinion. But yeah, no, give me Seattle here, and just Kyler Murray going on IR, something we could talk about as far as on Monday, but like that's something looming. There's something looming there as far as for the offseason. But all right, as far as the 3 o'clock games right here, LA Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. Rams are 6-2. Niners are 6-3. Rams are favored by 4.5. Over unders 49.5 in this one. So expecting some points. Who are you taking?
Yeah, give me the Los Angeles Rams. Even if Brock Purdy does play in this one, he's going to be hampering that toe injury because Kyle Shanahan did say it's going to linger throughout probably the rest of the season. And the Rams right now coming off a bye. No, no, not coming off a bye. Coming off a really major, big, basically a bye. Coming off a
Yeah.
major win last week, um, and and seeing what Puka was able to do in his first game back. Yeah, give me Los Angeles Rams by a mile. I just think they're too much offensively right now. Matthew Stafford playing like an MVP of the league, and the defense is still doing some pretty good things. So give me the Los Angeles Rams in this one.
Yeah, no, give me the Rams in this one. Even though it's going to be a close game because the Niners, they just always keep divisional games close if they don't win. But I just think, like you're for the exact reason that you're saying, Matt Stafford, this is the best season he's playing as a quarterback by far in his league. And it's crazy because before the year, it's I think he got an epidural and he could barely walk. So I don't know how 2-2. makes four in this scenario. But yeah, no, give me the Rams in this one, and which I think this is going to be a very competitive game right here. But all right, next one we have right here: Detroit Lions versus Washington Commanders without Jaden Daniels, a dislocated left arm. I'm pretty sure he's going to be done for the season with their record, how bad it is. Detroit's favored by 8.5, over unders 49.5 in this one. Who are you taking?
Yeah, give me Detroit in this one. I just think Detroit they're gonna bounce back pretty well, especially after last game. And then Washington right now, they're just an easy matchup for most people every week in and week out. So
Yeah.
um yeah, just give me Detroit in this one quite easily.
Yeah, no, Detroit, they're going to absolutely dog walk, dog walk the Washington Commanders right here. And the defense has been worse and worse and worse as the weeks have gone on. So I'm expecting a bunch of points from the Lions side right here. And I think this is going to really get ugly. And especially with Terry McLaurin out, Debo, they said he may not even play this week. So it's going to be Marcus Mariota. He's in a very bad spot right now. So Detroit Lions, they win this one very easily. All right. This Sunday night football game where it kind of gets interesting. Pittsburgh Steelers versus the LA Chargers, in which now Joe Alt is officially out for the season. And this is in LA. Chargers are favored by 2.5. Over under is 44.5. Who are you taking?
You know what? Give me Pittsburgh in this one. It feels weird to pick them, but I do think after seeing what they did last week to the Indianapolis Colts defensively, with nobody really on that offensive line to protect Justin Herbert,
Yeah.
it's going to be a pretty good day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I do think their offense has been playing quite well given their standards, especially with Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Warren handling the big workload. So yeah, give me
Yeah.
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I was hoping you'd pick the Chargers, so I kind of sneak a game right past you. But no, yeah, I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers for exactly the same reasons. We saw that stat whenever Joe Alt was out in 3 games, 81 pressures, and the Steelers defense has been getting a lot better as the weeks have gone on. I'm not saying they're back to this vintage great Steelers defense, but a lot better from what they started. So yeah, Steelers defense, they're gonna do more than enough in this one. Aaron Rodgers has been still playing at a top 10 quarterback level up to this point. So, yeah, no, I think the upset happened. Steelers over Chargers. But, all right. Monday night football game right here, in which this one is going to be really good. Philadelphia Eagles, who are coming off of a bye where it was much needed, versus the Green Bay Packers, who lost upsettingly to the Carolina Panthers. Green Bay's favored by 2.5. Over unders 45.5. Who is winning this ball game? Very tough. Very tough.
You know what? Give me Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is going to walk away with this win. I do think what we were able to see from Jalen Hurts over the last couple of weeks, especially passing the football, and then last time we saw Saquon Barkley, he had a big day. And
Yeah.
I just think that's going to continue versus the Green Bay Packers. Not to the same level, but I do definitely think there was something there that the offensive coordinator can work off of.
Yeah, no. This one, it's very close. But again, as much as I don't think Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback or something along those lines, one thing that he does not do, and I give him much credit for, in big games, he shows up and he does not turn over the football. That's one thing that he always does. Compared to Jordan Love, who I always say is a double agent. So I think that's going to be the main thing. And Philly coming off of a bye, one of the most physical teams coming off of a bye and getting an extra, pretty much an extra week worth because they play Monday Night Football versus the Packers who got bullied. So I think it's just all the recipe for success for the Eagles right here. Even though I think it's going to be close physically wise and as far as the line of scrimmage, Eagles are going to dominate this. So this is going to be the main recipe for success in this one. But all right. So before we get into as far as just different trades around the league, so the only difference we have in this one, again, it's just one game. Baltimore and Minnesota. So it's going to come down to a 12 o'clock game once again. But all right. As far as 110, Spurs and Lakers, I'm finally caught up. Are you at 248? Wimby
Hmm.
just shot a free throw. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. No, but okay. As far as trades that happened around the league, I think the biggest trade that happened in this one, Quinnen Williams was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 2026 second round pick, a 2027 better of the first round pick, whichever one is going to be better, and then Mozzie Smith. So, do you think this has any implications for this year or just any? What do you think about this trade?
Yeah, I think it's a good trade for both sides. I think the Jets get a lot more pieces they can move with, and they can use to make major moves in rebuilding this team. And as far
Mhm.
as Dallas Cowboys, I feel like it satisfies the fans for right now. We'll see what they can do as a whole. I do think it opens up a lot of things for like Jadavion Clowney, Darwin Azaruku, a couple other players. So I think it's a major move for the Dallas Cowboys if they want to still try to make a push for the playoffs this season.
So, okay, not only do I say that, like, okay, I'm not expecting the Cowboys to make the playoffs. I'm going to be the first to say it right here. But as far as with this, it eliminates things from your defense that you need. And as far as people saying, why would you trade away one of
Wemby
your
fouled
picks?
out
Did he? When?
just now.
Are you ahead? Oh, the charge. Dang, I guess I got behind. That's crazy. No, but okay. As far as like
Dude, he's
with,
been playing bad the last two
this
games.
this was a bad game and they still stayed in it. So honestly, I think this is more of a testament to the Spurs and all. Well, the Lakers they have players out too, so I really don't know. But
No, it's not. It's not. I think someone was trying to make that argument too that Lakers have players out. I'm like, I mean, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Lou Cornett, like, bro, like those are three major pieces. Like, it's not just so. I think it's both. I think it's a wash off on injuries.
oh, okay, all right. Well, yeah, that I was saying it's more testament to the Spurs. In all
Oh
honesty,
yeah.
that's what I was saying with how bad Wimby's playing in this one and how good
Oh
Luca's been
yeah.
playing in this one. That
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. But no, okay, yeah. Back to the Cowboys right here. I feel like anytime you could get Quentin Williams, who's 27 in the middle of his prime, and you could say he could play all over the line of scrimmage, defensive end, defensive tackle. You have to go trade for him. And I know people they're going to be saying, "Oh, well, Micah Parsons and Quentin Williams are not the same." It's like, well, one's a defensive tackle and one's a defensive end. And not to get like too foot like football nerdish, but it's much easier to stop a defensive end than it is to stop a great defensive tackle because a defensive tackle is closer to the line of scrimmage and you have to double a great defensive tackle every time. Ask Dexter Lawrence, ask Chris Jones, ask Aaron Donald, and it makes bad linebackers look like good linebackers because they have no lineman covering him. So not only is he in the peak of his powers right now where it could have an immediate impact, and now all we have to worry about is a secondary, and you still have 2 first-round picks to deal with this year. But as far as future wise, he's barely 27 years old. So he's a younger guy who is still under contract for another 2 years who could make an immediate impact for right now and the future. So honestly, I think for the circumstances and everything, it's an A+ move because you're hoping those draft picks turn into Quentin Williams. That's what you're hoping for. So I think it's a great move. For right now, I don't think we'll make the playoffs because we're so far behind. It's a loaded NFC. But as far as for next year, it gives you a lot more to look forward to next year. So that's my thoughts on it right there. But as far as any other trades you wanted to talk about that happened in the NFL?
No, I don't think the other ones are very major moves. Like we already talked about Jacoby Myers, we talked about the Cowboys. I mean, they brought in
Does
Logan Wilson, which we'll
yeah,
kind of see. Harrison Barnes just fouled out too, so no.
man.
But yeah. If we I just think a lot of these moves, I don't think it really did anything for playoff hopes besides maybe for the Indianapolis Colts with Sauce Gardner. And yeah, I think that's the one major move that has real implications on a team, like making a real push for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you right there, but I'm gonna brush up a little bit on Philly. Them getting Jalen Phillips and Jair
Oh,
Alexander.
yeah. Those are
So
some
what?
big moves. Yeah. I think Jalen Phillips is someone that I really wanted for the Chiefs because he is a really good playmaker on that defensive line. It's just that he's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career, so it doesn't look too pretty.
Yeah.
But he oh my. Okay, but it doesn't look too pretty in hindsight. But I do think he can offer big time minutes, big
Yeah.
time plays, and right now he's on his deal, so he's also looking for an extension pretty soon. But
Mhm.
I do think he's worth the risk if you want to make another push for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. I don't necessarily buy the Jair Alexander. I think that's more of a patch because how bad Adoree Jackson is. But Jalen Phillips, the only thing that's really been holding him back is his injury history. And he's not going to be a number one defensive end. You have Jalen Carter, you have other guys around there. So he's just going to need to make a splash play every once in a while. So Philly's definitely making the right moves, and they're in position right now to have that back to back chance right now. So I'm just saying that, but I think that's pretty much all the trades. But all right, Josh, like we do every single week, one fantasy football guy. I'll let you pick the position, and I'll pick another guy who's going to be the standout guy of the week.
Mm,
I think I have a name in mind. I think.
give me.
Hmm. Man,
Yeah, I really don't know. Um,
I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm trying to find other guys
give
other
me
than my
James Cook versus Miami.
James Cook versus Miami. Okay, I'm glad you took a running back because the guy that I'm taking is Quinshawn Judkins right here. I don't know if I said it earlier as far as Quinshawn Judkins going off, coming off a bye week versus now a defense that's non-existent in the Jets. So yeah, Quinshawn Judkins, I think he easily has over 20 points in this one, at least a couple tutters in this one. So he's gonna have the big day. Any league you have him in, start him. Please start him, or you're gonna be making a very big mistake in this one. But all right, Josh. Any last words before we get out of here?
Good night.
Yes, good night indeed. But all right, before we get out of here, find us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under TSCSA or the so-called sports analyst. Whether you listen to this live or another day, we appreciate it. Make sure you share this to anybody that likes sports. We'll see you guys next week for NFL Week 10 reactions. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.